Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Akuban Nights. Is there anything else you guys want to discuss that night, or should we go straight to the next day?
Well, Maya will definitely want to know what the hell her sister said to the Queen.
Yes, I think we should all go and talk in the king's room.
Okay.
Because Sammy is there as well, so...
Yes, you can gather the party. Everyone is awake and alive.
Oh yeah, as the king had.
Not everybody is alive though.
Has the king sort of been magically embalmed, as it were?
Yes, he has been given the things to prevent the rotting process from setting in properly.
Right. There we go. We can totally weekend it. We can totally weekend ability him.
What did the Queen say, Sarah?
That she wanted us to take her with us. She did not have any. She doesn't have any insight in any political issues really. She says she knows a lot about Mistrea, but that's pretty much it. She's being threatened. She assumes that she's going to be brought as a sacrifice or a tribute to Scoria, was it?
Hmm.
The Red Dragon. So she fears for her life. She says many nobles have apparently disappeared.
That is very unfortunate for her. I'm very sorry.
Rather her than us.
I mean, we can't take her, even if I feel for her. And I understand that she's in a very dangerous position. But we have to think about Akuba first. And this would certainly bring just problems with it.
It would be suicide, indeed. Very wise of you, brother.
Well, fortunate for me, I opened the door not butt naked.
Could have been awkward, yes. That could have been a diplomatic incident of some proportions, yes, indeed.
Yes. Well, are we heading home tomorrow morning?
Do you wish to do the trade deal? I personally feel that would be a good idea. I feel the king of this country would take it very amiss if we did not give him the weapons we promised him.
My heart says yes. Because I'm grieving. I lost my father to an Drakizian assassin. And someone wants to kill Drakizians, so it's fine.
Brother, just a thought. Are we absolutely certain that it wasn't a double bluff as it might be?
No, we're not. And therein lies the problem. I would like to hear from Yassi in the morning what the nobles at home think about the deal. If we want to stay in power in Akuba, we need allies and friends. And this deal with Mistrea might be a key to it. We could use this deal and put it in writing that this deal is only being held up with King Budarius in place. Maybe this will give us some leverage at home.
That's very, yes, a genius idea indeed. Out of character, Neal. My hawk is like a. Did we say my hawk was like a messenger hawk?
I don't remember. You can kind of say whatever you want. Did you want it to be a messenger or an attack hawk or?
Well, it definitely wasn't an attack hawk, so I think it's a messenger hawk. So
sure. Did you bring your hawk with you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's really fucked off. It's probably in my room just like. it doesn't like the smell. The meat's awful. The carriage ride made it motion sick. It's been stuck in a cage on a ship for weeks.
Yeah.
It's pissed off. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, sorry. My brother, I could perhaps send a message.
To whom?
Well, if we wanted to bring a message to the nobles.
Well, I thought, and that is only my idea, we should discuss this. To travel back as fast as possible, hoping that news won't arrive in Akuban before we are back home.
So, brother, I thought you were saying that you were going to tell the nobles that this deal would only go ahead if you were king to negotiate.
Yes, once we arrive at home and are able to tell them what really happened.
But surely it would be better to stay here and force them to vote you king in order to get the deal passed.
What do you think? I look at Sarah and Sammy.
Once
think-
we're
No,
back
I'll
in the
just-
country, we're in their power.
I'll sit down next to Sammy's bed and I'll like push up one pillow a little bit so he can sit upright and he's comfortable.
I don't really understand all this stuff. I've tried to keep away from it. What do we even get from this deal pushing forward? What do we
Money
get
and
for
power.
Akuba? Are we
Lots of money.
looking for money and power? I don't understand. What do we get from not agreeing to it?
We fail at the mission our father went to accomplish.
Also, we
just,
angered the king of this country.
We just show the nobles how useless our family is in leading Akuba.
Also, we angered the king of this country and put ourselves at direct risk.
I think
Nobles need money, want money. I mean, I am happy we are rich as well, to provide for our lifestyle, for armies, for the security of our people. And, yes, I need to talk to Yassi. We need to know what the nobles think. She has much more knowledge about this than we have.
I just think that if our father wanted this to happen, then surely we should make it happen.
He didn't come here just to, finish that deal though. He said we're going there to discuss it and to see whether we want to do it. He never said this is what we're doing.
Did he tell you any further details on what he expected to get from coming here? You were in the carriage, right?
Yes, I was. He was not sure about the deal.
Well, what was he looking for by coming here? What did he need to know?
He had a very low opinion about the other nobles, calling them backstabbers. So I think he didn't have a very good relationship in the end with the other nobles. And this might have been one of the possibilities to get a better standing in Akuba. Providing riches for weapons and armor we don't need as much right now. Why not?
Yeah. Excuse. I'm still a bit weary, but I don't really understand. I thought our trip was mostly secretive. how could Drekis have found out about our travels?
A traitor in the ranks, obviously.
Which ranks?
Well, the king of this country knew we were coming.
It would either be, the way I see it, it would either be of our people, the very limited number that knew, and the people here at Mystria.
There are many things going on behind closed curtains. I mean, the queen just entered my chamber and wanted to leave her own country to Akuban. I mean,
Brother, was she trying to seduce you?
there are things kept private.
But that means yes.
She made me an offer I was able to refuse. Let's put it that way.
Amateurs.
No,
Anyway.
but seriously, no matter how secretive your plan wants to be, there are always moments where you can get betrayed.
Oh yes, if
People
more than two people
uncover it.
know a secret, it's no longer a secret.
I just
Indeed.
want to pose this to you. That surely it would be in Mystria's benefit for us to be attacked and blame it on Drekis. Where they are at war and they need to strengthen the deal. So, Maya, are you sure this information coming from the assassin was correct?
It is what she told me. Whether she is particularly good at resisting torture, or perhaps she doesn't know more than she's been told. Personally, if I was going to hire an assassin, I would give her very limited information.
So you think that the information she provided was too colorful and too much to be true?
Either I questioned her, I put her to the torture. We could go and ask her again if you'd like.
What
She's
does
still
Drekis
taken.
even benefit from this assassination? I can't
Well,
believe.
Well, Drakis.
maybe I should talk to her.
Maybe you should, brother. Drakis. Allegedly, the point for Drakis is to weaken this country, so they can't fight. You know, they're at war. So that motive makes sense. But how did they find out? There is obviously a traitor somewhere.
It's much more reasonable in my mind to think this came from Mystria and not further.
It is a reasonable assumption, brother.
Mystria has also not asked for a collaboration for so many years. They've only started this now that they are collaborating with their red dragon. And I don't know about you, but I don't think collaboration with the red dragon sounds like a very good deal.
I have never dealt with a dragon before. I don't
He's
know
just-
what kind of creatures they are. Only the myths I heard.
They want our resources, they want our weapons, our time, our energy, our ore, everything invested into these weapons that we're gonna ship off to Mystria, which leaves us defenseless, or at least weakened, in a time where we could actually be guarding ourselves, in a time where we could be arming up for whatever is going to come, because things are obviously changing. So there is a third option, which is we're not doing the deal, we're going home, we're protecting ourselves. The second if we do this deal, then we have to be allied to Mystria, because otherwise they will just take all our resources.
I agree with
We're
our
gonna be
sister.
defenseless.
You speak wisdom, sister. You speak wisdom.
All I'm saying is, if we want to be allies with, do we want to be allies with Mystria? If the answer to that is no, then there is no deal.
But sister, there are not that many kingdoms left in Arcadia. There is us, The gnomes. Can we ignore them, please? Then there are the elves. Oh, keep to themselves as well.
Yeah, but
Um,
maybe it is actually time for everybody who usually keeps for themselves, just like we do, to do something about that.
My brother, if I may, if we do not do this deal, we must find a very diplomatic excuse for not doing it. If they think that we don't trust them.
There comes
Yes,
a
I
knock
know.
on your door.
Please come in.
Yassi walks on in, head bowed, respectfully. You called for me?
Please. We acquire some information you might be able to provide.
Yes. How can I be of service to the crown?
Our father took this mission with a reason. Personally bringing himself into danger to travel to Mystria.
Mm-hmm.
What was the reason behind it? And what do the nobles think of this mission?
The Sparksteel family, as well as the Stone Song family, both were very proactive. The Gildarin family as well. All three of them came together hoping to make this happen. There's to be a large amount of money gained. War prices, of course, would be much higher than standard prices, even with any conceivable bulk discount. So there would be quite a bit of money coming in for the kingdom and for some families in particular, and for the people, the smiths specifically. But your father did not inherently think it was a good idea to sell all of the weapons being produced at this time to another country at war, and did not necessarily trust this King Gilder. He has a reputation from his days as a count, as a clever tactician, politically speaking, and someone who is good at amassing power. He's also said to be a fine knight in his own respect. Dangerous with an arming sword. So, the late king wanted to look him in the eye and see if he could trust him. If this would be a bad idea in the long term for Akuba or not. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. How would the nobles react if we come home empty-handed? I think your silence speaks more than I wanted to know.
I think we all know the Conclave has not been a friend to your family or to mine. And I think most of them would prefer this to go down.
Very well. I guess this settles our issue. And I look at my siblings.
Yassi takes a bow and backs out of the room.
Thank you.
Is that it for tonight?
Yeah, that's it.
All right.
Yeah, I guess he wants to go to bed and take a good night's rest and think about what he's gonna tell the king now.
Okay. Everyone meets up in the parlor the next morning for some breakfast. Is everyone hungry?
Oh yeah, I have an appetite.
Yes. Good.
I'm gonna be a little sketchy about my breakfast, and just sort of only eat something after I've seen somebody else eat from the same bowl, sort of thing. I'm assuming it's like communal bowls and things, and I'm just going to sort of wait a little while and, you know, just pick at my food and just be really like.
The four of you are dining with the king and queen and their infant child, who is propped up in a prom nearby. Prom? The thingy that you put
Pram.
kids in. Pram, that's the word. A pram. That's...
I tell someone to make sure food gets sent up to our father's room to hold
course.
the guys.
Yeah. So the six of you are having your breakfast here, and after this long, quiet, first round of soup, King Gilder says, I hate to broach business when such dire things are happening, but the world moves forward regardless of our mortal lives.
Indeed.
I will be sending an emissary along with you, with your permission, of course, to start the paperwork and the assessment of supplies and goods to be moved back and forth. And if you like, we can do half of the payment up front. I can have wagons filled with gems and gold and jewelry for the trip.
I look at Bud like.
With the death of my father, there has come a slight change. With the way we have to look at Drekis. Maybe we have to take a more forceful look into our southern neighbor than we have before.
Are you saying that you would like to join forces and together crush Drekis into the ground?
I would like to say that we have to keep our options possible,
He
which means
snaps his fingers and quickly calls for a servant to bring him a map of the world. And places it on the table before you guys. Well, why don't we split the country down the middle, he says, and draws a line at the edge of the woods. We'll take the east, you take the west. And maybe we can split the capital. We'll have half of it and you have half of it.
if it comes to this moment that we are able to split Drekis into two halves, I would be generous and leave you the capital for yourself.
Excellent.
But we haven't arrived there yet. And I still have to be coronated and be made king.
Of course. All plans
As
are subject
such-
to changing situations, but I fully expect that you will be coronated and take your rightful place as king of the great nation of Akuba. And so why don't we work on the premise that you will come to power?
That would be great. There's one slight thing.
Mm-hmm.
If we ship all our weapons to Mystria and all our armor that we're producing, we won't be able to arm ourselves.
I imagine it will take you some time to raise your banners and raise your armies. It is only early spring. The summer season is quite a ways away, if you could even join in during this warring season. why don't we take what you have on hand and any stocks and supplies that our troops desperately need today, and you continue to produce arms and armor for yourself and use your future production to equip your armies which have yet to be rallied or called. I imagine it will take you some time to get where you need to go.
Yeah, I guess he looks to his siblings for a second. Yes, how's the reaction of Sarah and Sammy and Maya about this talk?
I'm halfway in the middle of like stuffing a bread roll into my
His reaction is like breakfast.
Bud, sure. I mean, surely this operation would be best served over many years. It's not going to take a single season to conquer an entire nation.
So, Maya, did you want to do something as well? Did you want to say something?
Maya's just like,
Okay. So I'm actually gonna do something really small. So this guy is a snake, right? I mean, obviously he's a snake. So what I would like to do is Sarah is going to get up from the breakfast table nice and slowly, really relaxed, big smile on her face, right? She's a very warm person to other people, which you could tell by, she touches other people. She's a very, very close.
she's a she's a priestess of Martha.
Exactly. And she takes a nice slow walk over to the baby. And while she's walking over, I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to get a feeling for the atmosphere in the room and the atmosphere, what is coming from the king as I'm slowly approaching the baby.
They're all continuing their conversation.
They're all just chatting. I'm gonna pick it up. Is it a boy or is it a boy or a girl?
The infant is a boy, and you can see the queen looking over and giving you a smile as the cleric of Martha goes over to the child.
Right. So I'm gonna pick him up. Does the father react at all? Does he give me a look or anything?
No.
What do the...
Yeah, I think you're just you're in the profile, and he's very, closely paying attention to.
Right,
Bud.
so he doesn't even realize that I'm going and picking up his kid.
Maybe he does, and he just doesn't care enough to even give you a glance that way, or maybe you haven't quite caught his attention yet. Either way, he's definitely not giving you any focus.
Right. What about the other? I assume that a guy like this also has a bodyguard similar to what our father had.
Yes, the captain of his guard is nearby, and there are armed knights on the doors.
Don't kill us, please.
Are they really relaxed? And...
No, these are royal guards, and someone just murdered a king. They are on fucking point.
I'm gonna pick up the little boy and I'm gonna take him with me back to the banquet. I guess I'm gonna sit down with him on my knee.
Okay.
Aren't you the sweetest little thing? Oh, look at you! And I'm gonna pinch his cheeks.
The queen gets up from her chair and comes over next to you and kind of squats down at your spot and strokes the baby's head and kind of whispers at the table to you, "Peace." That says nothing else. Rest of the party, I think you're continuing with your breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
Lovingly suplex the baby.
I just read that.
I guess Faye's just trying to be the nice Sarah. Maybe it comes off creepy right now, but I guess she has the best intentions. I mean, she's a cleric of Martha.
I think it also tells you a lot. As a cleric of Martha, right, family is really important, right? And this is a guy who's ready to burn his wife, right? He's ready to sacrifice her. So she already doesn't think very much about him. But sometimes it gives you a glimpse of people's real character when they are threatened in a way. And I was just trying to figure out whether...
Rando picking up my baby.
Yeah, I mean, if they see you as allies, they might not feel threatened, but if they think you're the enemy and they're coming to crush you, you know, they might feel a little bit different in that moment.
Yeah.
Until we have sorted the things out with the noble families in Akuba, I should be able to offer you 1/5 of our weapon supplies right now.
1/5?
Until
sorry.
everything is cleared up, your king.
That is most unfortunate. We are in a fight for our lives. I thought I made that clear yesterday. They've sacked and razed our towns, captured some of them, burning our countrysides.
Maybe
Without these arms, I fear Mystria will not be long for this world.
If I may, brother?
yes.
Your Majesty, we unfortunately, due to the sad demise of our due to the king's ill health, we cannot commit to anything. You understand, I'm sure.
I believe I do, yes. He gets up from his seat and comes over to place a hand on his wife's shoulder and stroke the child's head for a bit before taking the baby from Sarah and putting it back in the pram. I understand that when there's our deaths in the family, that it can be quite difficult for everyone, and that your head might not be in the right place. Do you think staying here for another week or so to clear your mind and let things settle would be useful to you in making this decision? He takes his seat again.
I respect you, King Gelder, and the hospitality you have shown us is very much appreciated. But we have very important things to attend to at home.
Of course.
I will not forget what you have done for us here. And then I assure you that we will offer you as any assistance we can give to a neighbor.
Against a common enemy.
Against a common enemy.
Well, take care of what you need to.
For sure, we might think differently if our families would be more united.
Well then, why don't you take care of your house? I shall take care of mine, and let us stay in touch. Perhaps you will find maybe your allies are not so eager to get themselves involved in a bloody war, and the best way to achieve your ends would be to supply us with weapons to kill your enemies for you.
Perhaps.
But
Yes?
Brother, go ahead.
I would prefer not to return empty-handed home. That is, if we could settle an agreement now that would bond us for the future when it comes to these trades, might be the
Well,
best.
I have a newborn son, who one day will be king of Mystria. What say we betroth Maya to him? Marriage is a good way to settle things, and of course he's newborn, so you would not need worry about anything for the next
start soaking
18
up
years
food.
or so. Might be a little old for him when he comes of age, but I am sure the marriage would be appropriate.
If my brother agrees, I would be honored, Your Majesty.
In this case,
Maya's just like internally screaming, but just keeping like a facade on. It's just like, just give you the look like, no!
I think it would, if I may, I think it would be wise before we make such a big decision if, you know, maybe your wife and your child could come back with us and take a little vacation. You know, learn a little bit about the Akuban ways. They could probably also sway the council. I mean, your wife is
Indeed, she'd be a
very
perfect ambassador. Perfect ambassador.
Unfortunately, I do need my wife here close at hand. She is my everything, my closest advisor at times, and I don't think I could do without her. However, we do have many young noblemen and women at court. You could all find yourselves Mistrian husbands and wives, and those you could find those of equal age, and we could tie our nations together quite closely right now.
I was not. It was more as a symbol of trust, you know. I mean, if you send over noblemen, of course, that's a good intention, but since she is your closest advisor, you know, the
I
gesture
cannot be without her
grand.
in a time of war, but perhaps you could take the child and a wet nurse. The baby is not particularly useful in a time of war right now, and if it's a matter of trust, I
I'm
think
going to look at the
giving you
queen
my
and see what
child
she
would...
thinks
Yeah,
of this.
What does she look like?
Let's give her a charisma check. I think you guys noticed there's like an eyebrow that goes twang, but just one,
Nailed that
and she
one.
keeps like a steady, solid face after that, and just kind of politely eats her food and looks up to see what people have said to say, but makes no protest or approval.
I was going to be like, Your Majesty, could you bear to part with your child?
Well,
I say to her.
it would be difficult to part with either my child or my wife. Equally
No,
difficult.
I'm speaking to the wife at this point.
Oh. She looks over and says, my child has been just a month or so old. I think it might be a little premature, sweetheart, to separate us so soon, especially for such an unknown period of time. But if the people of Drekis cross the Loshiran Highlands, or Laconish Highlands, then we are all dead, including me and my child. So better it leave now and possibly live than to stay here and be overrun when we are ill-equipped to defend ourselves. It would be heartbreaking, but in order to do what one must for their people, oftentimes one must break their own heart.
I don't trust him a second. This slimy little king. Well,
Brother, you're thinking out loud again.
wow. No, thank God. No, all out of character. So, okay, King Gilder. I will make sure that the first arms delivery will be on its way as soon as I return home.
And of what scale of delivery are we talking? A few spears will make no difference. We need weapons. We need armor. We need horses.
We can provide you with horses.
Arms and armor?
As well.
Good. I will send my assistant with you. Beatrice.
What was the amount of trade supposed to be? Like, how much were we going to be giving him in the first place? Assuming a successful trade.
I'm assuming all this is going to be in writing, by the way.
Yes. Yeah, someone will write up these documents. You know, your father never actually told you any of the stuff. You had kind of been given like a brief overview while you're on the boat, and you're like, I don't know what the hell is going on. Okay. And then he died before you could get the actual deep details, but the impression you got was that it would be for the some of the kind of just stocks of weapons sitting around, plus employing the smiths, weapon and armor smiths of the region to all kind of focus on weapons and armor at this point, because, you know, sometimes smiths take a few days off. You make a sword now, you make a sword next month, whatever, but this would be like pushing them into full arms and armor production that the state would buy and then sell to the other state.
Yeah, turning our land into war mode, essentially.
Yeah. So it would be for like 100% of your production plus whatever reserves you can spare.
Right.
Yeah.
A personal matter, dear king. As the child will certainly learn a lot about Akuban, the Akuban ways, I think he should also be taught in the Mystrian ways. Can I suggest sending a governess with him?
Of course, I would be sending a wet nurse, a governess, plenty of soldiers to keep the child safe, along with maybe a cleric to see to any illnesses he may have. But to be honest, how long would you expect to keep the child? I doubt he will age enough to need a governess.
Well, you have a woman in your court. Her name is Lady Arena. She is a childhood friend of mine.
I believe she has spoken of you before, yes.
And I would like to have the chance to maybe spend some time with her. But as the matters at hand don't allow me to spend the time in Mystria, I thought it might be a good way to bring her to Akuba.
Why, you sly dog, bud. Of course. She may come as a governess, and perhaps stay as something else.
Or ask her?
Wow.
No.
Oh, you're going to Akuba? Lovely desert.
Maya's just like, oh, really?
The worst way to ask somebody out on a date is.
Hey! So we've got this kid as a hostage. You want to come and look after it for us?
Welcome to Akuba. These are the western desert hills, and here you see the eastern desert hills. The difference is the little shine. Oh, cool.
Good. So I believe we have a deal. Your
I shake his hand.
current stores, future production, horses, and you will take Lady Arena and my dearly beloved newborn son.
There's no name.
Who has
As
no
much-
name, because the DM forgot to name the infant child. Because why do infants need names?
I mean, if you're marrying them to one of our sisters, then maybe.
That was definitely not part of the initial plan, but, you know, let the cards fall where they may.
I don't want to marry a baby.
Is that one of the parts of this agreement that we're agreeing on? That Maya and infant boy are betrothed?
Betrothed. Oh, God.
Yes.
Okay, that can be part of the deal.
I'm just looking at you like...
Maya, you may feel free to name your future husband. What do you want to call him?
Don't call him Henry. Whatever you do, don't call him Henry.
Louis.
Louis. All right.
Not much better if he's the 14th.
You know, these are special times when you're able to name your husband You can also take your husband back home, and you can change his pants. So it's
Cool.
He comes in a nicely
That's-
wrapped
This
bag.
happens at the
Oh,
very
so cool.
beginning and the very
Okay.
end of the relationship.
Oh, so creepy. So creepy.
All right.
Myers now just like, how do I get out of this? It's fine. All these early betrothals never actually happen.
There's a lot of infant deaths around here. Don't worry about it.
I mean, they're sending a cleric with him, so he's not gonna die.
No, I just meant,
So you kill him.
yeah. No, I'm sure that they'll decide to marry him to somebody else much more politically interesting at some point, and they'll be fine.
Sure. Dinner wraps up. Some people draw up official documents during the course of it. Not dinner, breakfast. The elegant documents get brought before you guys to sign and seal. Each of you should have
what's
a
written
signet
in the
ring.
documents at all.
It's basically what you talked about. It doesn't look like there's any sneaky language. It just covers what you guys had originally said.
Yeah. Good.
You all have signet rings that you can sign, that you can seal wax bits with to prove that it comes from you initially. These are highly prized, and I think, Bud, you probably have your father's signet ring since he died, because you don't want that falling into someone's hands. Otherwise, there's just like letters from the king that start showing up all over the place, you know?
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So you can seal the agreement with your ring. The king of Mystria seals it with his. Copies are produced, and one will be sent with you guys, one will be left with them.
Okay.
All right. Once dinner wraps up, I guess they're gonna go fetch Lady Arena.
Yeah, you sent me Lady Arena, but in chat someone said it's Lady Ariana.
No, it's Arena. Definitely
Arena,
not
okay.
Ariana.
Arena, great.
Yes.
Like the thing where gladiators.
Lady Grande.
Lady Grande.
I guess it is yeah.
Arena. Okay.
Arina.
Okay.
I guess they're
Arena,
phonetically the same. All right. Cool. So Lady Arena does show up as you guys are kind of prepping to leave and everything. She comes with one of her handmaidens, the same one that came by yesterday and so rudely interrupted you without understanding why. They clearly have been given their instructions, and so they just give you like formal bows and curtsies and then shuffle off into another carriage that has been provided for the child.
Happy you could make it.
I wish it was under better circumstances.
It is. Sorry to... we have enough time to speak later.
Okay. I think you guys all pile into 3 carriages now, one also for the child and all their supplies.
I am going to really try not to be in the carriage with the child.
Can we also have a 4th carriage for our father's body?
Please, yes.
Yes, a 4th carriage is procured. So
We also have the assassin, Jesus.
Oh, God.
yeah,
Let's
actually,
not
do you...
leave it with our father's body, shall
Actually, I
we?
think with the
The
third...
assassin is not riding with the baby.
Are you guys keeping the assassin then? You're not going to leave her here to be interrogated?
No, we
gonna take
will
her with
take.
you?
She's on our custody.
Okay. So you will need 4 carriages then. One of them... whatever, you could do it with 3 or 4. It doesn't matter. You guys pile into your carriages and head out.
Yes.
As you head back out onto the road...
We get ambushed again.
The assassin stabs somebody in the neck.
Neal puts up the same map again with the same people and same location. Yeah.
Ambush. This is where the red dragon pops up, and this campaign
Oh, wow.
is simply
Yeah.
over.
I was going to ask if
You're
there's...
being sacrificed. Good
Is there
night.
anything else you guys wanted to say or do before you take off?
I'm probably... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I just wanted to take out my map and start investigating Drekis, the places, trying to find that place that the assassin was supposed to be from, and also figuring out logistically where half of Drekis would be.
Yeah, it's a village in the Destos Plains called Ditchwater.
So you can find the general area where she's from, but
Yeah.
you know, she's just from some tiny podunk town that's not going to appear on any map anywhere.
Because I want to get that information verified or something. Somehow.
I'm going to go to Bud and just be like, brother, may I speak to you for a moment?
Yes, please, Maya. What can I do for you?
Brother, I realize that political expediency is important and alliances are important. I, however, would just like to register my objections to marrying a 1-month-old. Well, obviously, I won't marry him yet, but to being betrothed to a 1-month-old baby. Just
Noted.
Just walk off, just like.
I grab you by the shoulders and turn you around and say, "You will not have to marry him if you don't want to. It is more a gesture than something that has to
I
happen."
understand. I'm just deeply uncomfortable with, but political expediency. I understand, and we should. Yes, certainly. Yes.
Just remember to give him a kiss goodnight every then and now, you know? And then walk off.
All right. You guys have packed up the wagons. You start
Uh-huh.
to head out of town. When you see kind of coming towards where you're all situated, a rather large red dragon in the sky. It's quite large. On the order.
Cover?
Your wagons are trotting down the road. The people nearby don't really seem to be paying too much mind other than looking at it. Your drivers don't really seem to pay too much mind. I think you guys are poking your heads out, being like, holy shit, that dragon is many hundreds of feet long. Holy shit.
Sort of, Maya's just there, like, prepared to dive out of the wagon and into cover if it even looks at our direction, because dragon's bad.
Oh my god. What a beast.
Dragon takes a nice, light, gentle glide and goes and lands itself on the parapets of the castle, giving a snort and a small belch of flame into the sky. Not a directed attack, but just kind of like a burp of fire that goes like 40 feet up into the air. Before it like steps down into the courtyard and sort of just like shrinks and vanishes.
What just happened?
That'll be...
Sammy, do you know about
Yeah.
dragons?
There's a myth, well, stories that dragons can, like... It's referred to as polymorphing. They morph their body into a different form. Because I'd imagine it's pretty difficult to communicate with a dragon if it's 120 feet long.
Brother, what are the chances that we've already spoken to the dragon?
I'm just... it came from outside the...
Yes.
the city, right.
It flew in from outside of the city. That doesn't mean you haven't already spoken with it. But
I
it did fly in
mean,
from out of the
I
city.
see no reason why we would have spoken to it before now. I don't see any reason why it would be...
The king could have been a dragon, the queen could have been a dragon, one of the servants could have been a dragon, one of the guards could have been a dragon, the assassin could have been okay, the assassin's probably not a dragon, but I'm just saying that the fact that a dragon can turn into a person lends a whole new complexion to things.
Does detect magic reveal that a creature is polymorph? Or
yes, it would reveal a polymorph. Absolutely.
in terms of a dragon.
I mean, it would show you that there is a magical aura, that the person has some sort of magic on them. You guys are already well outside of the castle, unfortunately, so you'd have to turn around to go back and detect magic on it. But
By the way, you Madge.
but in general, like, you could detect magic on someone and be like, holy shit, this person's got like a lot, like they've got a strong magical aura on them. They're definitely enchanted somehow.
Yes. Well, logistically speaking, it came from outside the city. So, unless, you know, it was... No, I don't see any reason why we were speaking to it in the last 2 or 3 days. I mean, technically, it could have been one of the bandits that assaulted us, but...
I think not.
Dragons are better suited to fighting than that. And the queen is with us? No. No?
No. No.
Oh,
Queen did not come.
okay, I mean, okay, it's technically possible there could be other dragons walking around the castle.
That's the conclusion?
All right, you guys take off.
But
I was talking about this beforehand.
I just put my hand on Sammy's forehead and I'm like, is this temperature?
You guys hop back into your little wagon caravan and make your way back down the road, down and over here, through Foghaven, and out to Slagmire, where you can rest for the night before hopping on your ship and trying to ford the canals, going through the threshold and the rapids, and heading back to Akuba, which will be, I don't know, maybe a week's-long journey, or voyage, I should say, back to Sandashar, your capital, which is way over here. I guess we're just gonna skip to the next day. You guys are on your ship.
I do not kiss the baby goodnight.
What? Hold on. Gotta change everything.
I'm avoiding the shit out of the baby. I'm just like, I just feel weird about even being in the same room as it at this point.
Right. Well then, you hop on your ship, start heading for home.
Also,
Anything
it's a
else?
month old. It doesn't know anything. It's just a squalling lump of poo at this point.
Yes, and they don't have modern diapers, so you've got like cloth rags that you then have to wash out.
Yeah, I'm not dealing with that.
You're a terrible wife. Just awful. They won't even
Fiancé,
care for
thank
your
you.
husband.
Fiancé. Okay. Hey,
All
hey,
right,
we're not
all
married yet, all right?
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Fiancés should not be expected to do that. You hop on your ship, turn it around, and sail it out of here, heading back home for Akuba. Is there anything you guys need to say amongst yourselves, between yourselves, before we get anywhere?
So, brother, what's the game plan when we get home?
Stay in power.
Anything a bit more specific, you know?
No.
Oh,
You're asking me as if I had all the answers to all the questions. I
You're
don't
the
know what
eldest?
awaits us at home. I have never been king before. I don't... It's a bit
brother,
overwhelming.
Surely you had a plan. You know, you're the heir. Surely you've been planning for this for some time.
Oh, yes.
People in place? You know, just a sort of plan to seize power?
No. I just
No.
thought I'd just get king and have a happy and fruitful life. Without terrors, without stress, without peace. Just peace. Something good for our people. What plan did you have?
I don't think it matters at this point.
Oh, you're already nearly married. I forgot.
No, I just meant Yes, I had hoped to make a good marriage at some point.
You are a lovely young woman with a lot of special talents that every husband would like to have on his side than against him. I value your skills.
Good, I'm glad, my brother. I'm pleased to be of service to you.
Stop saying that. You're my sister first. You're not my servant.
I understand, but still, it is my duty to be loyal to you.
It's getting repetitive. There are a lot of people that will be serving me in the future, maybe. Please don't be one of them to just fall in line. I need family members, I need friends who I can trust, who will speak open to me, and whose advice and whose voice I can add. That's very important.
Certainly, my brother. You wish me to speak openly?
Yes.
You need a plan, brother.
Yes.
Because we are in a lot of trouble right now. Our father is dead due to our inability to protect him, and treachery. From within or without, I do not know. The noble houses will leap this opportunity to take us out of power. And we really do not have a lot of bargaining chips at the moment. We need to think of something.
I agree. And I think the most success that we will have to stay in power will be to talk to the Spark, Steel, and Stone Songs, and maybe the Goldarian, to be able to, well, so that they don't vote, so that they can't vote unanimously. Yes.
Unanimously, yes.
To vote us out of power.
And what will we offer them?
At first, to go through with the deal with Mystria.
Money for
Give them
them.
what they want.
Right. So, even if it's not unanimous, still a majority is bad for us.
It is, but maybe we can work at one thing at a time. I can't see that we will suddenly come home and we will be seen as heroes and everyone will be happy that we're back. I mean, they might be happy that father is dead. That might be good news to them. But still, we will have to work on these relationships.
Indeed, but while we are working on one thing at a time, the rest of the noble houses will be working simultaneously on many ways to get us out of power.
Well, it's good that we are 4 siblings then, and not just one.
Indeed.
Okay. You guys head back to Akuba. I take it you're going to proceed with the deal as planned, right? There's no betrayal going on here, no promising a deal and then turning your back on it immediately the moment you leave town.
Well, there might be some delays coming in the numbers that we can provide initially,
Right.
to buy us time.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like they know the numbers of our reserves.
Right.
Yeah.
As
Right.
long as there's well,
There's
The
a lot
nice
of-
guy he sent with us will be kept as far as possible away from any important information.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're still going through with the deal, but maybe not at the pace that he wants. Maybe a bit slower, because I don't want to leave us open for an attack without the necessary resources to defend ourselves.
Okay. And all this talk of possibly joining them in the war effort and dividing Drekis in half afterwards, is that something you intend on following up on? Do you intend on raising your armies and sending them to war?
Well,
It's certainly something
Currently-
we could dangle in front of the other noble houses.
We come back from Mystria. We have good news. Father is dead. We sold the weapons, and we're going to war.
We have a really good chance of a lot of no. You gotta present it properly. So it's like, hey, we've got a fantastic opportunity to work with whatever to divide, sort of like to conquer new territory for our country, more land for everybody, more wealth for everybody. You got to spin it positive.
Yeah, I mean the idea that we should go to war might be there because if it turns out that's really Drakis that killed our father, we have a good reason to threaten them with war. But I think we should talk to Drakis or to representatives to them in some shape or form at some point.
I think we need to invite them again.
Yeah.
Okay. Well then, that is going to be it for our first episode. The king is dead. All hail King Budarios.
For now.
For now.
For now.
Budarios did not leave with a potential wife. Well, maybe he left with a potential wife. I don't know. You
We'll
might.
figure that out.
We've got a thing going on here. We'll see.
The handmaid.
The handmaid, yeah. You also have the assassin in your grips. You have. You have Beatrice, the assistant, and you have Louis, the fiance. And
I have got to find a way of getting out of that.
that's a tough one. All right, well, that is going to wrap up our first episode of Akuban Nights. We will be back next Friday and every Friday, until holidays kick in and people get busy, for more of this. So congratulations on surviving.
Yay!
None of the party died, so that's good.
Yeah, extra credit to Sammy. And I guess that's gonna wrap us up for today.
Cool.
Any final words?
I actually have something small to say. If you are watching this and you're a girl, a woman, a grandmother, a 1-month-old female royal, and you are interested in playing some D&D or talking about shows or just hanging out, we do have a lovely Discord, which is open to anybody, but we also do have like a Shield Maidens channel on Discord for girls who are interested, or women, or no, age doesn't matter. We're interested in just hanging out and making fun D&D experiences together.
Yep.
I support that. The more female gamers we get, the better it is.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. That's it then. Join the Shield Maidens Hall if you'd like. You can find the Discord link in chat somewhere. And Fuzzy, do you have any streams that you're doing today? Are you done? No, it's late for you.
I'm done. I'm going to
It's
bed.
nighttime. All right.
It's bedtime. Yeah.
If you stick around on this channel, we're going to be doing critical feedback in about half an hour. And then we just got the rest campaigns on Saturday and on Sunday and on every day, basically. So we'll see all of you next week for more Akuban Nights, hopefully. Good night, everybody. Bye.
All right,
Good night. Bye.